The law is the law. No one is above the law, and no one is supposed to be below the law. That is why it is often said that he that goes to equity must go with clean hands. In legal parlance, there is what they call res issa loquitur. The fact speaks for itself. And it is true. In any normal society, which I believe that Cameroon is one, the law is fully respected, irrespective of your political class, ideology, agenda, financial status, or legal status. The law is the law. That is why you will commonly hear the phrase that you are innocent until proven guilty. It is evident even in the manner of arrest in normal society that laws are respected. When a police comes to arrest someone, you will hear the phrase that you are under arrest. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will or shall be used as an evidence against you. In the court of law, you have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to a lawyer. If you don't have one, the state will provide you a lawyer. It is normal for a state to provide you a lawyer because it is a constitutional right to be represented in court because you are innocent until proven guilty. I repeat, in a normal society. The question that we are asking ourselves today is, what does it take to arrest someone in Cameroon? What does it take to detain someone in Cameroon? And what does it take for that person to be released or to be bailed in detention? Is there a particular prescription by law that states where in which arrests are conducted? And also, is what is written on a criminal procedure code or on a penal code what is being applied on the field? Is it what we see on a daily basis? We have heard ministers championing the cause and singing the chorus that Cameroon is a state of law and the laws must be respected. Is that what is? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Javis.
Since 1993, EUG is 3 schools, ESG, ISTA, ISA, 3 ultra-modern campuses with more than 40 specialties in BTS, HND, DCEP, professional bachelors and professional masters. More than 15,000 graduates and more than 115 million francs scholarships granted to students. Many national and international partnerships and more is still to come. At EUG,
we train leaders since 1993.
You're welcome back from that transition. If you are just joining us, a happy Sunday to you. And to those of you who are colleagues who want to say happy Assumption Day, Ave Maria, ho, write my name, oh, ho. Ave Maria, oh, write my name, oh, ho. Write my name, write my name, write my name, write my name, Ave Maria, oh. Write my name, oh, oh. This is how it is and it was in all the Catholic churches as they celebrate Assumption Day. I begin the program by introducing to you my guests with whom we are going to have our 1 hour 30 minutes right here in our studios at Cameroon's economic capital, Fengudong, Bange Koto Bonamusadi. I begin with Senior Barrister Tamfu. Barrister Tamfu, it's a privilege to have you. Happy Assumption and a happy Sunday.
Thank you, Mr. Javis. The pleasure is all mine. I extend my warm greetings to all the Cameroonians who are watching this program. The topics today are very, very illustrative. We hope that we are going to give in our own input to make sure that you understand what the law is on those subjects.
Thank you, Barrister Tamfu. And also we have Barrister Edward Ewule, who is from Boya. Barrister Edward Ewule, you're welcome to the program and a privilege to have you.
Thank you very much, Jarvis. It's always a pleasure for me to be here, and it's important that we dissect the issues that we are going to discuss here this morning or this afternoon. So I'm happy to be here, and I want to greet all our televiewers who are watching us. We say stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ewule. And also we have Prince Epie, who is of the Popular Action Party, the PAP party. He's from Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital. These are the people feeling the heat as far as the politics is concerned, and they understand the intricacies when it comes to arrest, detention. They've had members of their political party arrested on several occasions, and including their former chairman, who was arrested and held incommunicado before later released, in the person of Justice Ayapol Abine, and also with the legal battle being faced by the IS Foundation. A lot of issues plaguing Cameroon, and I'm sure he's well placed to explain to us what they are feeling as far as political wing is concerned. Welcome, sir, and a privilege to have you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tah Mai Javis. Good afternoon to the fellow panelists. Good afternoon to the President of the Popular Action Party, Mr. Njande Nistabe. I want to say that actually I'm just being elevated by the National Council of the Popular Action Party as the Deputy Communication Secretary. So I want to first of all thank the leadership of the party for this confidence that they gave me. I want to say it is hard work. You can see that schools are resuming. As a principal of a school, being here in Douala, it's not easy. So I want to thank them very much for that confidence, and I want to also use this opportunity to greet all the militants of the Popular Action Party, and also to greet the millions and millions of televiewers of my media, especially House of Commons. I want to say that I have a special attachment to the name House of Commons because it really goes to the common man. I will say that the PAP, as you rightly said, have suffered a lot of persecution by the bias regime in place, and I believe that I'm very comfortable also being together with great legal minds. I believe that at the end of this we shall make a good debate to edify the televiewers that are watching. By default, it means you are the His Excellency in your party, because if we go by what you said, that you have been elevated, means you are the rank of the Emmanuel Sadi, René Emmanuel Sadi. Well, you can call Jacques Famé. You can call Jacques Famé Dogo. You can call Jacques Famé Dogo. You can call Jacques Famé Dogo. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Prince Epie, I'll begin with you, Barrister Ewule, before coming to Barrister Tamfu. Barrister Ewule, you've been in Boya. I want you to give us a picture as far as arrest is concerned, because you have worked with journalists that have been arrested. You worked with the case of Wazizi, which almost took your head, and Ifoeche Patriotic, as you know, and a lot of issues plaguing. Before coming to the context itself, I want you to give us a picture. How in the topic itself, what does it look like as far as that is concerned?
If you look at the provision of the law, our Criminal Procedure Code, you look at Section 30 of the CPC, it defines what arrest is. And arrest is the apprehension of a person for the purpose of presenting this person before a judicial authority prescribed by law. That is, it should be either by a warrant of arrest or by cases of flagrante delicto, under which has been well spelled out under Section 103. So, looking at it critically, arrest is simply apprehending somebody by judicial police officers or agents of the criminal justice system for that person to be presented before a judicial officer, and it is for the person to answer for a case against him. And you look at classification of offenses, you have three types of offenses. You have a felony, you have misdemeanor, and you have simple offenses. So basically, for somebody to be arrested, there must be a warrant of arrest. There must be a warrant of arrest, which is given to the judicial police officer by a state council. And that is a first way that a person can be arrested. Yeah. But the another way And another method in which a person can be arrested, it is without a warrant of arrest. And this is in a case of flagrante delicto. That is, a person who is caught in the process of committing of an offense, or the person is caught with maybe a stolen item, or is being followed by public clamor. So in that particular case, the judicial police officer, or even persons who are not police officers, any person in a case of flagrante delicto can arrest a suspect and present him before a judicial police officer or before a law enforcement agent. So that is a reality on that is a procedure. But we have seen that this procedure that has been spelled out by the provisions of the CPC are not respected by our law enforcement officers. Sometimes they go on to arrest persons without a warrant and keep them in detention incommunicado, and most of the time when they inform, most of the time they don't even inform the state council that these persons have been arrested.
Okay.
So we have had cases in Boya, we have had cases in many places, and we see that people are being arrested, kept without following the procedure. Most Cameroonians are there is a lot of violation of the law, and this is what has brought a lot of shame and embarrassment to our criminal justice system.
I'll now come to you, Barrister Tamfu. To set the ball rolling, you got it from Barrister Wille. I want us to now get into context in itself. Barrister Tamfu, you follow my editorial. I talked about the norms, what is and in a normal society. Let's break it down. Let's start with, we have arrest, detention, and bail. What does the Criminal Procedure Code says? Yeah, let's start with arrest first. What does it take, as you listen to what Barrister Wille pointed out, to arrest someone in a normal context in Cameroon? Because he pointed issues that is happening in Boya.
Yes, to understand what arrest is all about, the only legal text you have to refer yourself to is the Criminal Procedure Code. And when you read the provisions of the Criminal Procedure Code, you understand that there are circumstances whereby you can be obliged, maybe you can be subject to arrest. If he already highlighted cases of flagrant delicto, yes, he well explained that. And you can also be arrested if you are presented a warrant of arrest. If you are summoned, for example, to report to the police or to the gendarme, and you fail to do so, one, second time, third time, they are going to issue a warrant against you. You can equally have a warrant of arrest if you do not appear, for example, for your court sessions. You are not appearing in court and the court requests you, a bench warrant can be issued and you'll be arrested. So it's like people should not conceive that arrest is an arbitrary act. No, it's something that is provided by the Criminal Procedure Code. If we follow exactly the procedure, once somebody wants to arrest you, he has to present to you the warrant of arrest, and you see who has signed it. It is from those elements that, okay, you can now be certain that you can be arrested. And the arrest should not be accompanied by violence, because
yeah, I was just coming. I wanted us to first look at arrest itself before come to the method.
Yes, so if you want to arrest somebody, for example, if somebody wants to arrest me, the person has to present himself. If he's a law enforcement officer, he has to present to me the warrant of arrest, and I have to give myself to, except I exercise some force. That is when the officer can now be bound maybe to also use force in arresting me. And it should be reasonable force, because if I'm not understanding why he's arresting me, he should not start beating me or kicking me. No, he should exercise reasonable force to explain to me why I am under arrest. Is it because I am just committing an offense that is flagrant delicto, or is it because they have found me with maybe products of stolen items
or contraband?
Or exactly. So I need to understand why the arrest is all about. So once that I'm comfortable in that explanation, I have to subject myself to arrest and he takes me wherever he goes. And I have the right, because arresting you does not mean that you lose all your rights at that point. No. You have the right to be accompanied by a family member, or you have the right to inform your lawyer wherever you are going, because at that moment, he is the guarantor of your liberty. So you need to inform somebody who is where you need to inform somebody where you are being taken to. And if all those provisions of the code are respected, then the arrest has been properly conducted. But if it is not, then it's an abuse, and that is what we witness all the time. Nobody is above the law, as you rightly said. Even the ministers who are in office can be arrested. And nobody should be below the rich or the poor are arrested. So an arrest should not be a taboo. If you commit an offense, you'll be arrested. But what we decry every day is that the arrest should not be arbitrary. People should not sit in high offices and decide on people's liberty.
I was just to add, is that the norms? Now, that is what ought to be. That is the normative.
Yes.
You are on the field.
Yes, we are on the field and we witness arbitrary arrest.
Is that what is?
Yes, but that is not what is on the field, because people take the laws into their hands. Citizens do not even know their rights. That is the first place. How do you give yourself to an arrest before an officer when you are not able to ask him, present me a warrant of arrest? What offense? At times they will arrest you. The person is silent. The person is not able to even express himself. So because of ignorance of the law itself, it makes people to be victims of arbitrary arrest. But if you know your right, and you are faced in a situation of an arrest, once you start expressing yourself to the person before you, that this is what the law says, you see the person will take another position.
But do you even have cases in Boya? I'm sure we've witnessed all those cases. Do you even have situation where you even say you know you're right? Because before they come, you hear in local pidgin language, you hear Sili or neither. In the next, before you want to say no, you have a lot of brutality, and you cannot even, you want to say, let me call my lawyer, the phone is seized from you. In those cases, what do you do? Because if you say, yeah, we know our right, is it just to say, yeah, I know my right? In those cases, what do you do?
Yeah, you will always be victim of such excesses. Those are excesses of law enforcement officers. No, there's no way you can control them, but the law is clear. So if at that position you can defend yourself the way you can, it's to your own better interest, because nobody will come and help you defend yourself. I don't see why you should give yourself to an arrest that is illegal.
So can the officer be sued after the arrest of using unreasonable force, brutality, and illegal arrest?
Yes, all those are possible. All that is possible. Now the problem now is the burden of proof should rely on if you are able to prove that the arrest was illegal, the arrest was violent. Yes, you can sue the person who did that. So the problem now will be on how do you gather your evidence to be able to establish a case, because at times those things happen between one-on-one. Except maybe somebody witnessed the scene, maybe videos or pictures were taken. Okay, from there now you can sue. So there is a possibility to complain against that, and the perpetrators of such act will be bound to pay you compensation. So the difficulty is that Cameroonians first should know their rights. Don't give yourself to illegality and then you come crying. If you think that an arrest is being practiced on you illegally, defend yourself. Even if you have to fight the officer, you fight him, because at that point in time you are defending your own rights. He's
a right to self-defense.
Of course.
Illegality.
Yes, of course, because he is arresting you in an illegal form. The problem now is maybe he may be more stronger than you, but if I know that I'm stronger than him and I know I've not committed any offense, at that point in time, I have to defend myself, and if I'm able to defeat him, I'll go and I will not be arrested. So when you discover that somebody is committing an illegal act before you, you also act to defend yourself.
Self-defense is a right.
Yes, it's a right. Because if you get yourself to that illegal arrest, it tends to be a different thing. But at that point, if you're able to defend yourself, you see that maybe you will even be able to escape from his hands, and you go.
And after that, can you go and lodge an official complaint?
Of course, yes, that you were a victim of an attempted illegal arrest. And if you are able to identify the person who did that,
okay,
they'll hear you.
I'm happy, but I just asked, can that be applicable? My only worry is...
It is applicable. It is applicable. If you, like I said, it will now depend on a force maybe to your ability to retaliate.
Okay.
If you are able,
Me, I would advise that Cameroonians should be very, very careful, because it's difficult to go and you want to retaliate police. There are 6 of them. If they come, they want to arrest you. If they come, they explain that you are being called to come to the. If they are not used force, just follow them.
Then is that what the
No,
law says?
No, please.
that's
Wait,
illegal.
no, please.
Is that what the law says? We are looking at what the law says.
no, we have.
I am saying that we will need to be very careful
We coming.
with the context
Anyway,
of our nation.
we are not letting this slide away. Let's get to other panelists. We'll come back to this because it's really critical. A lot of people in Boya, Bamenda, in the littoral regions, in central regions, across Cameroon are facing this issue of illegality of arrest and non-respect of maybe the criminal procedure code based on their complaints. And we've seen other areas where people are arrested legally and with the due process is respected and they still resist the arrest. We've just been joined by Photo Boris. Boris?
Yes, Barozi.
Barozi, you're welcome, and you are a consultant. Thanks for having you.
Yes, thanks. Thank you for inviting me, and happy Sunday to my fellow panelists. And before I don't know, let me just try to say something on what he said.
Barrister Tanfu?
Yes, Barrister Tanfu. Talking about rights, I've experienced situations where on my way to Boya one day, there was a woman, she bought wrappers. Because in law, there are certain things that a policeman cannot come to your house and said, give me a book, a receipt of your said chest. There are things in law that they don't ask you for receipt. So that woman bought wrappers. And around Miselele, a policeman said, we should stop, we stop. Prisoner, we show our IDs. He said they should bring her back down. They brought it down. So in my own knowledge, I knew that the man wants to open it for the sake of security. They said they should show receipt. I was at the behind of the car. I told him, I said, that is not your duty. The duty of the custom. The man was very mad at me. Struggle. He wanted that the woman should give him money. Struggle until he asked the woman, that, this man, who is he to you? Said, it's my brother. Struggled there until he had to carry us to his boss. His boss asked that, said, do you want to come and learn, teach policemen their work? I said, no. Me, I know my right. I know that there are certain things that you don't ask for receipt. It's a duty of the custom. He said, bring it back. We brought it back. He said, we should open it. We opened it and said, this is what we expected your colleague to do. Yes, talking about right, there are many things, there are many situations which I found myself in. Because the truth is that when policemen know...
We're not afraid that in that circumstance, a lot of things can happen to you.
No, I was not afraid. I was not afraid because I knew my right. Yes, I was not afraid. But normally, there are times that when you see a mood which they are in, as barrister said, you are supposed to be very conscious of the fact because somebody can even be angry and shoot you with a gun. So you have to be very careful. And this Cameroon, they kill you. Nobody.
They can sue the person now.
Case go nowhere.
But you're dead.
You are dead.
Your family can sue.
Yes, case go nowhere.
Anyway, you listen to them. Let me come back. I'm coming back to you. Let's come back to Prince Epia. You were listening to the kind of, I think, discrepancy between Barrister Tanfu based on the procedure of illegality. I want to get your context now. You are a political and a politician. You've seen how arrest is conducted. Do you feel like Cameroon is following what is laid down by the CPP and, of course, the CPC and, of course, the penal code?
In Cameroon, there is to answer your question directly, in Cameroon, there is a gross violation of the CPC. Gross violation of the CPC. And I want to say that you prepare your program very well because it's taken me to where I wanted to come. There are too much arbitrary arrests in Cameroon. Now, I want to say that Cameroon has ratified many international conventions. Let's look at the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights. Let me read maybe for the governor, I'll tell you was article maybe 5 to 13. Now, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Thank you very much. In article 5, they said freedom from torture and degrading treatment. Article 6, right to recognition as a person before the law, right to equality before the law, right to remedy by competent tribunal, freedom from arbitrary arrest and exile. Article 10, right to fair public hearing. Article 11, right to be considered innocent until proven guilty. I want to say that Cameroon has ratified all these international conventions. I want to say this Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Freedoms, Cameroon is a signatory to it. Now, what we are saying is that as a politician that I am, you are not new with in the political scene. You have seen how people have been arrested in Cameroon without a warrant of arrest. Maybe there is police officers just go to by the roadsides and arrest people even without a summons. You made mention that Justice Paul Abine was being arrested. You saw how he was being arrested illegally, incommunicado illegally and incommunicado. So it's not only Justice Paul Abine that has been persecuted in the Popular Action Party. Even the present president of the Popular Action Party, Mr. Njangdeni Stabe, has been arrested in Yaoundé when we were carrying on a meeting. He was arrested. So we are saying that
maybe that was illegal meeting, because there are provisions too for legal and illegal meetings.
No, when we are saying that when we enter into that, the meeting was not illegal. The meeting was not illegal. Maybe that is not our debate for today. Maybe we can look for another day for us.
Yeah, no, I was just showing that maybe you cannot hold the law.
The problem was, okay, finally he was released. The problem is arresting people arbitrarily. That is what we are. That is what we are trying to say. Not just Jantabe. We have even the coordinator for Coupe Maninguba, Pierre Elimpe, who was arrested and sentenced into prison terms. He served a prison term during this crisis. They were persecuted after Justice Paul was being arrested. So that is what we are talking about. Many of them that maybe I will not be able to give to give a list of their names that were being arrested. So what we are trying to say is that I think there's a representative of the CRM party here as well.
He said he's speaking at the level of the barrister.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Barrister Tafu is better placed to talk of the persecutions of the CRM party. So what we are saying that in Cameroon, the laws are very, very clear, Mr. Tah Mai Javis, and all Cameroonians, is their duty for them. Is a duty for all Cameroonians to know the laws of the land. Every Cameroonian, though we need to have legal minds who need to accompany us, but we need to know our laws, like what my brother here was saying, that he knows his rights. But at times when you tell a police officer on the roadside that you know your right, he takes it as if it is a challenge. You want to teach me what I walk and all what now we get from the roadside. Okay, now I am not a law expert, but at least like the Criminal Procedure Code is in front of us. Now let's look at part 2 of the CPC, that is court processes. In section 11, it is very clear. A court process shall be a written document by which a magistrate or a court order, I beg your pardon, a court process shall be a written document by which a magistrate or a court orders either the appearance or production of an individual before them, or the remand in custody of a suspect, a defendant, an accused, or a witness suspect of hindering the research for evidence, or the imprisonment of a court. And you can go and read the whole of that. So what I'm trying to bring here, that it is very clear that it should be a written document. There is nowhere in the CPC where it is being written that somebody should be arrested by you, a magistrate, calling that person, and then you put that person under detention.
Like we have with Rebecca Inonshon.
Because I believe that is, I know that is our focal point for today. That is what we had with her. She was called on phone and detained. That is not what the CPC is saying. There are administrative procedures that needs to be followed. She needs to be served either by a bailiff or maybe a judicial police officer. There are administrative procedures.
So in that context, you call it fall in line with what Barrister Tamfu said about illegality?
No, Barrister Tamfu is in line. What he's saying is very correct. The CPC is very clear. But the problem is those that are governing this country have decided to manipulate the law so as to make Cameroonians to suffer. Okay, now let's take a clearer example. As a teacher that I am, when we are teaching according to the competency-based approach, because at least the program also is an educative program, when you are teaching, we come with what we say in the CBC, the real-life situations. Let's look at the Anglophone war today. What has become today the Anglophone war? It became heightened by arbitrary arrest. You can remember when the consortium started negotiating dialogue with the central government. You realize that the government decided to arrest these guys and put them in prison, incommunicado.
But maybe it's still another form of legality.
No, it's not a form of legality, Mr.
I said maybe I'm just.
It cannot be a form of legality. Let me go to the end of my logic.
Yes.
Now,
briefly.
After this, Justice Ayapola Abine also was being arrested, and that is when you saw how the diaspora took it. And what do we have today? The Anglophone war. So I want to say that arbitrary arrests, the repercussions of arbitrary arrest is that it can bring revolt in the community. That is why I buy the logic of barrister who says that if you can fight a police officer, barrister Wule, yes, no, you don't say it. No, barrister Wule, if you can fight a police officer who wants to, do you know the way the police officers? Do you know the way
but they are representing the state.
No, you must not represent. Let me. I will come to that.
No, you can report it to hierarchy. Not that you can find. You understand?
When the police officer comes and start breaking your bones,
what do you do?
What do you do, Mr. Wule? No. Start maiming you. What do? You allow the person to break your bones and maim you,
and then you go and report.
Where is the person you were defending, Samuel Wazizi? Where is he? So please, we should be very careful the way we want to address this issue. If a police officer wants to, because the law.
I know somebody.
If you want to read the police officer,
somebody may be watching us and may have the wrong interpretation of this. Yes. I want you to underline the context.
Wait. Let me put what is illegal.
Because somebody may be watching us and confused.
Look, if a policeman is before you and wants to arrest you when you know you have not committed any offense, because he has categorized commission of offense. Is it a flagrant delicto offense I'm committing? I'm seated. I have nothing. I've done nothing. I don't blame myself over anything. And a policeman just comes. He doesn't even present himself. He doesn't present any warrants, and he starts brutalizing you, saying he wants to arrest you. My friend, that's where I exercise what they call self-defense. Nobody.
Inscribed by law.
Self-defense is a provision. It's a right. I have to defend myself vis-a-vis that person who is about exercising an illegal act.
Okay.
If I leave him in his illegality, then I'm accepting what he's doing.
You're aiding and abetting.
Good. So I should not then cry foul that I was illegal. No. What did you do? You know you're right. Did you tell the man that this is how an arrest should be conducted? So people should not think that because they are uniform officers, they can take the laws into their hands and they tamper on people's rights. No, okay. I won't. For me, I will not tolerate that, and I will advise my client not to tolerate that.
But Mr. Wule, you wanted to read some provisions before we...
No. I just
what he was saying, and now we are under the context of arrest. Before moving to under what offense? Before moving to detention or what offense, I want us to look at the case he is talking about, that if you are sitting in the comfort of your house, he says the arrest of someone must be legal, means must be signed by competent authority, an arrest warrant, and the arrest must be gentle. If you submit yourself to the arrest, mean that if you say Mr. Javis, you're under arrest, I say okay, let's go. Maybe by that you are not supposed to put me on a cuff because I accepted that. Let's go. Let me learn. I'm throwing a question. You are the legal man here to explain this. And are we supposed to use considerable force in this context that is illegal and doesn't have a valid signature? What do you do then? You disagreed with him?
No, I disagree with him because, as I said, if you look at you can think that you have not committed an offense. Most of the time, the person that comes to execute that warrant of arrest, most of the time, he does not know why you have been invited by that judicial authority. These are some of the realities. Most of the time, the chief of judicial police just goes on to assign some of his elements based on the warrant of arrest to bring this person. So they just come and show you that you have a warrant of arrest and they take you to that judicial authority. Now, there are certain offenses that are committed flagrant delicto. And most of the time, the person that is committing the offense might not even be aware Yes, committed offense. There are certain people that they don't even know that what they have done is an offense that is punishable under the law. Like, for instance, cyber criminality. We have a lot of young men in Boya and the rest who involve themselves in scamming and the rest. And most of the time, they have, and after the police have maybe try to track them, they have tracked maybe some messages, online thing, and they come to their house with all information, with the laptop and everything, and they want to say, no, we have not done anything. So these are some of the situations. And what I'm advising Cameroonians is that most of the time when these police people they come to carry out these arrests, they don't come alone. They come around 5 of them.
Okay.
And sometimes it is difficult.
Now.
Yes.
Let me talk something.
Briefly, so that for
it is very important because we must
Pastor Tanfu should react so that for we speak before coming back to you.
We should be very careful. An arrest is not a verbal issue. An arrest has to be written. The law is there. Somebody will not just come and present himself that I'm a police officer. You are under arrest and you say you are submitting yourself to the arrest. No. If you know, I am repeating, if I am seated in the comfort of my room and I know I am not committed any offense, if you bring a verbal declaration to arrest me, you will not get me. If I'm able to defend myself, I will defend myself to the highest height. But if you bring a written document asking or telling me that I am under arrest and I verify the document and I see that yes, it is okay, then I'll submit myself to it. You see, today we have, our prisons today are full with this Anglophone crisis because a lot of illegal arrests have been committed and the people are just saying, oh, let's just follow.
And due processes are not followed.
No due process is followed. The people just think that no, let me just follow. But if people have been resisting arbitrary arrest or illegal arrest, then we'll not be facing what we have today. You just, because you see him, you say with the uniform, you say I'm arresting you, or verbally, and you are giving yourself, you are arresting me for what? Which document is provided? Which document do you have to execute that arrest? At least, those are some of these circumstances. These are the circumstances that should really guide us in the principle of arrest is stated in the criminal procedure
it's
code.
Clear. That's the law.
What is arrest? How is it conducted?
What
are the conditions?
Maybe we can read
so except
I wanted to come on the part 3, that is the arrest.
Yes, so that for two.
Section 30 section 30 sub 2. A judicial police officer, agent of judicial police, or any officer of the forces of law and order effecting an arrest shall order the person to be arrested to follow him. Shall order the person to follow him. And in the event of refusal, he shall use reasonable force.
That is what we have seen.
Reasonable force necessary to arrest the person. I go now to sub 4 of that section. Said no bodily or psychological harm shall be caused to the person arrested. That is what. No, that is what we have. No.
Is that the norm?
That is what we are saying. It's good. That is what we are saying, that when the police officer is coming to arrest and doesn't use that reasonable, because the spirit of that law is very clear, no, Mr. What is reasonable? Reasonable is that what is reasonable? They say no bodily harm. Psychological.
Yes.
Psychological. So when the police officer brings force, you have the right to defend yourself. When the police officer brings force, not to talk of. You have been arrested, maybe flagrante delito, for maybe for us the common people who don't know caught red-handed, maybe
let's say you are raping a girl,
red-handed, committing an offense, caught red-handed, committing an offense. Even if you are caught red-handed, committing an offense, they don't have to exactly. You need the police officer needs to order you for you to follow.
Meaning that in an authorized protest march, they are not supposed to brutalize you.
They need to accompany us. They need to accompany us in an authorized march. Tah Mai Javis, I want you to tell the televiewers if you were arrested with an arrest warrant. The televiewers should also know. So to make you yourself, you have suffered that persecution. And that is our country.
That depends on the legality now. Barrister, Mr. Fotu, you want to react?
Yes, the issue is that most Cameroonians are ignorant of the law. So to me, I would think as just as pastors go around the market and be preaching about God, I think the barristers or the lawyers need to create a forum that will sensitize Cameroonians about the law. Because me, myself, I had many encounters with policemen, but I've never been arrested. I did not use force. You are just supposed to make a policeman understand that you know your right. That is all. You don't need to make for instance, arrest is not supposed to be done on a public holiday like today Sunday. You are not supposed to arrest anybody, no matter the crime the person have committed. Wait till the working day, Monday, and after 6 p.m. you are not supposed to arrest any Cameroonian, anybody after 6 p.m. on a working day. Okay, but most Cameroonians have been arrested on Sundays. They have been arrested on even in the night. Yet they still give themselves to arrest. Why? Because to me, I will not advise somebody to be fighting a policeman, but just the way you talk. Because there was at times, there was the first police commissioner in Munya. I have an encounter with him. He heard me on the road. I told him that this is a violation of human rights. You don't have the right to hold me like this on the road. That means I make him to understand that I know my right. By then I was in the university. So now because there were many people there, because of shame, they had to call a policeman to come and take me. When they took me, they put their car. I wanted to resist. I said, no, observe before complain. But I made him to understand that if you put me inside a cell, that uniform will be removed from your body. I will do everything within my power. Because there are some people behave as if they own this country. Some people behave as if this country is for them. That means anything that they will do, they go away with it. But I make a commission to understand that if I enter in the cell, you will leave this job. And I meant it. Yes. He took me, they put me at the police station. I gave my statement. For after about 2 hours, they allowed me, I left. So, Cameroonians need to first of all know their rights. That's the first thing. They are supposed to know their rights. And the barrister was talking about classification of offense, simple offense, misdemeanors, and felony. Simple offense, like literally the law road, that one is not supposed to be a problem. That a policeman will be brutalized. Even these council officials, they will brutalize you until as if you have committed a worse crime, of which they themselves they are not free from it. It's just because they have that right, they will just be brutalizing you. Then misdemeanors are offenses like stealing, because stealing there is different. Because what most people don't know, there is difference between stealing and armed robbery. Yes, there is a difference, and because armed robbery is a felony, a grievous offense, while stealing is just a misdemeanor. For instance, you are my neighbor, you just open your door, I enter inside and steal your money. That one is a misdemeanor. If I'm wrong, the barrister should correct me.
You just enter and say neighbor, hello neighbor.
Yes. I'm not a lawyer, but I've made myself.
It is still punishable by law.
Continue.
Yes, I've made myself to study law. Yes, but it's serious offense. So now, with those offenses, you can be arrested, but the way that they will arrest you should be at least moderate. Because like there was one time that one woman was arrested. My younger sister, I don't know that woman left and came to our company and was crying that my husband has been arrested and locked at the Moyoka police. My sister just said, go and see my brother. But then I was in the university. He said, she came and told me. I went there to the state council. I told the state council that this type of crime, the person deserves bail. Because you know that with felony, this type of crime, you cannot arrest that person. They release the person, but I'm not a lawyer. But there are many people that have saved just because I just make you the police to understand I know my right.
Okay. I think I continue with you, Barrister, before moving to Barrister Tanfu. We are coming out to the aspect of the process of arrest. We all. I want to briefly about the process of coming to detention, the process of arrest. Now, let's say you have a legal warrant of arrest in somebody, and you get to that person's residence. What are the procedures prescribed by law that you should follow while at that person's residence? Do you just go and break the door because you have an arrest warrant? Do you just go and be searching things because you have an arrest warrant? Because we've seen cases where people are given arrest warrants, but instead they go and do search. We have witnessed those cases. So what are these procedures? When you have an arrest warrant, do you permit someone to just come to your house and just start doing search because he has an arrest warrant against you? Because normally we understand that arrest warrant is just come and listen to what you have been called upon to.
There's a difference between arrest warrants and search warrants. There's a quite different. The code has specified what search warrant is. An arrest warrant is different. Arrest is true. Search warrant is when the state council gives It's the same procedure like arrest warrant. It is a document that gives the judicial police officer the powers to go and carry out a search in a particular area where a crime has been committed, either to get some evidence or to get certain information, and it's different from arrest warrant. So looking at it, when you go to arrest, you cannot just go and break the door, because you go and break the door, you are committing another crime. That's destruction, unless that arrest warrant is accompanied with a search warrant, where when the particular locus or the place is, you are being prevented to enter to carry out the search, you can use reasonable force to get into the premises in order to carry out to without no the code is very clear. But let me tell you something, we have had serious debate on it. There was a seminar organized by an association in collaboration with the US Embassy, where we had judicial police officers who participated in that seminar with the state council. And what the questions that we asked is, could we try police officers when they go to they go out to conduct a warrant of arrest, and maybe in the course of it they cause some bodily harm, and they were our code has not made it very clear. They say in the course of police officers carrying out their duty, you understand, they cannot be prosecuted in the course of. So you cannot go to the premises and break the door. You have to go there. If the person is inside, you ask for the person to come out. If the person doesn't come out, you wait for the person for the door to be open. You cannot just go in and break the door. And there's a procedure. You show him the warrant. You explain to him that he has been invited, and in arrest, the person should be handcuffed. If the person wants, the person should be handcuffed. That is, if you look at all other laws and other judgment on arrest, the person should be handcuffed. That is show that the person is under arrest.
Okay. Thank you very much, Barrister.
And also, I just wanted to add
so that we go to the next topic.
During that search warrant, the judicial police officer also has no right to touch anything which doesn't go in line with the evidence that he needs. That is what I also wanted, so that the television should also understand. And that in an arrest, the criminal procedure code is very clear. It is just because the regime in place won't have decided to violate the laws of the land. The criminal procedure is very clear. A police officer doesn't have the right. They have a time limit to carry out even their functions from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the evening. But in Cameroon, what we get is gross violations.
That's on civil offense.
On all offenses.
Barrister, briefly on this, so that we move to detention. Briefly on this arrest, as we was talking about, we have had young men in Moliko arrested on a daily basis because they are just called upon and their phones are seized and asked to open their phones in this situation. Is it legal? Because people have been arrested on this, that you just see somebody and say, hey, open your phone, and that on daily basis. We have people now in Moliko and all around the northwest, and some people in the littoral that you just say, hey, toi, viens, ouvre ton téléphone. You just start searching. In this case, what should that person do?
Well, like I said, if you submit yourself to illegality, then await the consequences. You should first of all know what your rights are. Somebody will not just call you and say, give me your phone. You already give your phone, or ask for your codes and you start giving. No, you have that phone is your personal property. You have the right to your privacy. If somebody calls you or suspects you, the person has the possibility to go and table a complaint, and you will be summoned, and from there the procedure can unfold. So if somebody stops me and asks for my phone, I don't have any right to give it to him. It belongs to me. If the person wants, let him take it by force. So when you tell me that some people are just call up and then I requested their phones and then they say follow me, no, that's not how it is. That's a beating to illegality, and you whatever will happen to you, you have to face it. So you should know what an arrest is. They can arrest you at any time. Yeah, nobody refuses that you cannot be arrested, but the due process should be followed. Once it is not followed, me, I will not give it. I will not give in. You should not confuse an arrest warrant with a search warrant. They are two different things. If they are conducting arrest, let it be arrest. If it's a search warrant, let it be the search warrant. So, arrest, like we have been explaining, it has a provision in the Criminal Procedure Code. It has a way of being executed. So that is what we should be observant to, and we should make it to be respected.
Okay.
If somebody intends to arrest you, know the reason, have his identity, let him give you the possibility to call a family member, let him give you the possibility to know your state of health, because at times they may be arresting you when you are sick. You have the possibility to call for a medical doctor. So if all those conditions are, yes.
It's nice as you are painting.
No, the problem is
It's so nice.
It's not me who is saying it. It's not the Criminal Procedure Code. And we are in a state of law where we should respect the rule of law.
Very important.
Very important. So if you leave your rights to be trampled upon, then...
But how many people, you have worked on cases, how many people have had those privileges?
That is why I'm saying that it is when it is above. For example, when I was arrested, I resisted my arrest. I resisted my arrest because there were 5 of them. That's why I could not defeat them. But I resisted my arrest, and it caught the attention of people. Because the people presented themselves. When they came, the first thing I identified, they were on civilian attire. Among them, I was able to identify one of them, like a Secret Service agent. I said, but you don't have to put all this scenario to arrest me. He says, our boss have instructed us to arrest you. I said, your boss is who? You see, if another person would just start trembling, submit himself to the arrest. I said, okay, if it is your boss, I have his phone. I took my phone, about to call, they seize it. I said, oh, no problem. Where is the arrest warrant? They said they don't have an arrest warrant. And from that spot, 1, I insisted to have my phone, and 2, I registered the arrest. When you do that, they themselves already, they were panicking because my car was parked. I said, I cannot leave this. If you don't show me a warrant, I'm not leaving this place. You have to tell me where I'm going to. You have to give me the possibility to also inform my family members. So with all that confusion, they had to only use force. And if I wanted to sue them, if I'm able to bring, maybe if there was a camera around, or an eyewitness, or maybe some people took videos, I can use it now to sue them. So if you don't resist that, if you just give yourself to the arrest because it's illegal, okay, wait for the cause. Me, I resisted myself. And if I had the power to fight all of them, I will beat all of them. But unfortunately for me, I was not able to defeat them.
Okay.
That's how
Let me react just
briefly.
Yes, I just want to say that in Cameroon we have 2 law systems, common law and civil law. In common law, the accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But with civil law, you are guilty until proven innocent. And I don't know whether that is
we have
a harmonized. The Criminal Procedure Code is now harmonized.
So,
As of 2005,
what applies in...
But before the harmonized, it was like that.
Before, but we are talking about what...
But now you are still using that system.
No, we have a harmonized...
No. Barrister, you react to him. Let him give us reason why he think they are still using the same system.
Yes, for instance, you will be arrested and you are locked up. For instance, now in the South, as you are saying, in the South, there are many people who have been arrested and locked up. Even myself, I was the victim of it. They just came one morning and carried all of us, went to Moyoka police and leave us there until people had to intervene before we were released. Now Cameroonians have been arrested and locked up. They just accuse you, you have done this. They don't even give you the reason to make it, to prove your innocence. They just assume that you are guilty. That is why I'm saying that they are still processing it. Because if you just say, maybe, they saw you stealing or you rape, for instance, you do not catch me right-handed. Yes. You do not catch me right-handed, so you are supposed to allow me prove my innocence.
Okay. Somebody, let me take on some few messages, move to detention. So please, Javis, you will start with detention. So please, Javis, let the barrister also educate us on when a person is not supposed to be handcuffed in respect of either arrest or just taken to go and give a statement.
Look, the issue of handcuff is just for security measures. But maybe the police officer who is executing it may think that you may run from his hands. So putting you the handcuff is at his own discretion. The law does not provide. If he suspect that you have committed a felony, that's a serious crime. Maybe you stole with a gun, or you are a suspect, a dangerous suspect, and he thinks that you are not secure in his hand to leave you like that. He can handcuff you. The law does not say anything.
The law is in English.
We
read section 13 of that law sub 4, which says that a bodily harm or a psychological torture should not be met on the particular individual who is being arrested. Now, who is being arrested. Now, we are saying it is very clear that what the television should understand is that we are in a regime where what they have been giving Cameroonians all these past years, no matter the laws that we have, it is a gross violation of our own laws. We are seeing it. Tah Mai Javis, go to the various police stations and go and make a census. I don't know if they give you people, journalists, to go around to go. You will see the way Cameroonians are being, and they use the language of authority. Pasensi.
And are we accused of crimes that are not committed?
They use such languages to make Cameroonians to feel as if they don't longer belong to their country.
Maybe they're acting and conformity with the law because they are law enforcement officers.
We have read the law here. The law is more enforcement officer should be somebody who is very polite. Okay. A law enforcement officer. I wanted to say that.
Yes, briefly.
I wanted to say that the government of this country should know that the arbitrary arrests that they have meted on Cameroonians is making, especially what is happening in the north and the southwest, for them to radicalize.
No, but there are people too who are arrested legally now. You cannot say they are arbitrary.
Most of the cases, Tah Mai Javis go to the prison of Boya and go and see the number of people in these prisons whom they have been arrested arbitrarily, and they are more than 5-6 years in prison without a trial. I'm talking under the governance of two lawyers.
Okay. Thank you very much. This one says hello to you. Good day, nice program. This one says good afternoon to you in the studio. I am Betan from Bamenda. What we have in Cameroon is that police officers just knock your door and say we are police officers and take you along with them. Most of the time of us young guys don't even take you to the police station. They will take you into their car and start asking you ransom. Barrister Ewule's supports this. No, according to him, just follow them. If they say they are police officers are busy searching the mobile phones of young guys on the streets of Bamenda and Boya without search warrants. I want to ask Barrister Ewule if that is okay as well.
No. Please, let me just react to him before.
Good day, panelists. Okay. Please, Barrister Ewule should speak like legal mind rather than a politician. No matter your offense, a policeman must show a warrant and say a reason before arresting you. You have the right to defend yourself against any police officer when brutalized, especially in cases where they use excessive force, which is definitely against the law. Barrister Ewule talked of a police officer arresting young boys of scamming. I want to ask him if there's any part in the law that says police officers have the right to stop people on the road and search their phones. Isn't that invading privacy? It's muta from Boya.
They don't have any right.
Please, let me just react. Briefly, I have not said that the police officers have a right to just arrest people without warrant. I am one of those lawyers, I'm one of those human rights lawyers who are against arbitrary arrest. If you call me that you have been arrested arbitrarily, I will go there and make the officers in place. But I am just talking in place with our realities
The
on the
Republican
ground.
values.
No, I'm talking about the realities on the ground. We have a system where there is a lot of impunity.
How do we change that system?
No, please, let me come. No, let me come. Let me come. Let me come. No, let me come. Let me come. Let me come.
When
Let
we
me
want to
come.
manifest, you people don't allow us to manifest. No, Tah Mai Javis.
There's no time.
When we want to manifest, you people don't want us to
Detention.
manifest. To denounce what the magistrates, the judicial police officers are doing to us, you people don't want us
No,
to denounce it. And
you have
want
a
us to
right.
do.
You have a right to denounce. I am saying that.
Do they give us a right to denounce? They arrest us again and put us into prison.
With
The arrest us again and put us into prison.
we have
many of us political prisoners.
It's okay.
who have been arrested arbitrarily.
Please.
It's okay. It's okay.
Please, we must no. Just to end.
10 seconds.
Just
please.
to end. Taking of people's private phones on the road is a violation of their right. This thing should be very clear. You cannot move on the road, catch young people, give me your phone. It is a top of the violation. In Boya, I went and reported to the governor. I went to the state council, went to the governor, and I went to the DO that they must stop these police officers from harassing young people. So I will never accept young people to be intimidated.
Okay.
To that. But I'm talking about the realities on the ground.
Okay, thank you, Barrister.
The realities on the
The
ground.
realities of the ground is that we don't allow us politicians to manifest, to denounce all these things like arbitrary arrest. If we do it, we got arrested and we are in prison. Alan Fogo is in prison, people inside in prison, and many other will be arrested arbitrarily. No, it is good time.
We have to look at detention briefly. I have to look at bail.
It pays.
Please. I am John from Germany. Can your panelists with the black coat explain why the police cannot or should not arrest on Saturday, Sundays, and after 6 p.m. I am in Europe. They can arrest anyone at any time.
Our law.
No,
our law
let me correct that. You can be arrested at any time. There is no specific day that they should be arrested. They should arrest you. No, arrest can be done every day.
No, sir. It is clear. If you look at section 119 sub 4, section 119 sub 4 say, except in cases of felony or misdemeanor committed flagrante delicto, remand in police custody shall not
remand.
Remand. That's one. Arrest and remand is the same.
No.
Arrest.
Remand is what we are going to. That's detention.
Yes.
It's different from arrest.
Remand. No, but if you are arrested,
remand is one type of detention.
That's it.
Remand is putting you into custody.
Good. See,
Remand
except
is different from arrest. We are talking about arrest.
Except it's flagrante delicto.
No.
Except if it's flagrante delicto, you cannot go and execute a warrant of arrest on a Saturday, Sunday, or on a public holiday.
No, when you see
that is what they code.
I just wanted to say, when you read, it is good that we read the law. The law is there.
This
when
is
you
the code.
read
Section 119
when you read that the part 3 of the law which talks about arrest, one of the sections is saying that the arrests should be done between 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening. Yes. But Barrister, maybe there are other exceptions that can come in. But the rule of the law permits that the police officers to carry it out within this time limit.
But if maybe it depends on the time of the arrest officer. Now the arrest officer may have
no, the law is very clear
on his watch, and
if you have time, maybe carry the law. The law is very clear.
No, what I wanted to say, one way I want to say is that if you have committed a felony, for example, you will not go and steal, right? And you go and sit in your house, you say, they want to come and arrest you maybe at 10 p.m. They want to come and arrest you at 10 p.m. You say, no. They have an arrest warrant. You say, no. Wait till 6 p.m.
No, you cannot execute that.
You
cannot execute it. No, even with the arrest warrant, you cannot execute it after 6 p.m. After 6 p.m. or before 6 p.m. or during a
objection.
Let's read it.
Section 119.
Yes, read it.
Sub 4.
Yes.
Except in cases of felonies or misdemeanor committed flagrante delicto, remand in police custody shall not be ordered on Saturdays, Sunday, or public holidays. However, when the remand in police custody has commenced on Friday or in the eve of a public holiday, it may be extended as provided for in the subsection. So remand all of that.
Counsel, there's something I want you to understand. when you say remand in police custody, that's detention now.
That is what I'm saying. That even
The audience, the person is talking about arrest.
even arrest.
Arrest is different from remand. Arrest is different from remand.
No, except
Yes,
in flagrante
arrest is different
delicto.
from what the audience want to know is that can they arrest me at any time?
Anytime.
That is the question he's asking.
No, they
Except
cannot.
you have called, they cannot arrest you.
I want you to read that provision again.
They cannot arrest.
Maybe by
Okay,
example,
see.
I want you to read that again.
That is remand.
No,
That is not arrest.
remand. Reading is
There's somebody
remand.
that's asked that and he need a provision. Take the
Yes,
provision again.
arrest on arrest.
Remand.
What
Read
provision?
arrest.
The fact is that
What provision?
What we are saying is
Take
that
the provision again.
You have to draw inspirations from here.
Section.
Section
that is what the
119.
spirit of the law wants to say.
This
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
you
say.
must
It's section
draw
one. Section one. There's
119
somebody there.
sub
People who are
4.
watching
119.
119 sub 4.
No, 119 already. When you're already on 119, you are talking already about remand.
That is why I'm explaining
That's
about
not
arrest.
arrest.
If you look at the spirit, no.
Arrest.
If you look at the spirit of the law, wait, please. Whether it's arrest or what, if you look at the spirit of the law is saying that when it comes to Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays, right?
You're not supposed to
there are
arrest
certain
anybody.
things that cannot be done. Investigations can be done, but remand and
Arrest.
execution of warrant of arrest cannot be done.
Cannot be executed.
Because when you go and execute a warrant of arrest, what is the next thing to be done?
By the way,
It
the
is
state
for that
council-
person.
And you cannot be remanded in custody.
And the state councils don't work on Saturdays
Saturdays
and Sundays.
Counsel.
When will the state council sign the warrant of arrest?
Read
To decide whether will be executed on that public holiday.
arrest.
Please, what is the code?
section 30,
Yes.
38.
Yeah, what is the section?
Arrest in the criminal procedure code
I know,
is
it's the
guided by
30.
section 30 to 38.
What does
Yes.
it
Okay, what does it
From
say?
when you're reading at those sections, there
Yes.
is no provision there.
That says that word.
You want me to read all those things?
No, if you
Let
look
me
at
read it now.
Okay.
Arrest. An arrest shall consist of apprehending a person for the
Yes.
purpose of bringing him without delay before the authority prescribed by
Okay.
law or by the warrant. A judicial police, agent of police, or officer of the forces of law and order effecting an arrest shall order the person to be arrested to follow him, and in the event of refusal he shall use reasonable force necessary to arrest the person. Any person may, in case of felony or misdemeanor committed flagrante delicto as defined in 103, arrest the author of such offense. No body or psychological harm shall be caused to the person arrested.
It's okay.
Except in the case of a felony committed flagrante delicto, the person effecting the arrest shall disclose his identity or inform the person to be arrested of the reasons of the said arrest, and where necessary, allow a third person to accompany the person arrested in order to ascertain the place of which the person is being detained. Any officer or agent of the judicial police may, in a public place or place open to the public and subject to the provisions of sections 83 sub 3, arrest the author of simple offense who either refuse to disclose his identity or discloses an identity suspected to be false, and when necessary detain him for no longer than 24 hours. Any magistrate who witness a felony misdemeanor being committed flagrante delicto may verbally or in writing, and after disclosing his identity, capacity, functions, order the arrest of offender and the accomplice and direct that they be brought before the competent authority. Judicial police officer shall forward daily a list of persons detained at a police stations to the competent state council. The judicial police officer who arrests or to whom an officer of forces of law and order or an individual hands over a suspect may search the suspect or cause him to be searched, take away or keep in safe custody all articles found in his possession. So when you read, yes, when you read at that, nothing. I'm saying that.
No, there are other provisions.
I am already at 36.
Yes.
I see it starts from 30 to 38. When you read at those provisions, there is nowhere.
There is
nowhere there stated that they cannot arrest you, because the message you are sending is as if somebody will tell you no. You cannot arrest me at 6 p.m.
Normally.
I say no.
You cannot with a warrant except it is. You can arrest. The law has given provisions that when the person is flagrant, when it's flagrant, you can arrest at any time. At any time. But when it is with a warrant of arrest, you cannot go and arrest that person after 6 p.m.
After 6 p.m.
That is when it is searched.
No, let's go on this break. Let's go on this break. The law is the law. No one is above. No one is supposed to be below the law. Hello, I am Lizette from Boya. Please, barristers in the house, we need you guys to come up from time to time to sensitize we the ignorant on the topic of arrest. I need to be clarified on the difference between arrest and remand. I am a law student. There is much I am learning from this program. I really appreciate you guys. You were reading the provision. Can you just complete the provision of arrest so that let's take on this, because I have a lot of people watching.
Program. Arrest in the Criminal Procedure Code touches on sections 30 to 38. I was on section 35.
35.
The judicial police officer who arrests or to whom an officer of law or forces of law and order or an individual hands over a suspect may search the suspect or cause him to be searched, take away and keep in safe custody all articles found in his possession except necessary clothing. An inventory of the articles seized shall be prepared and signed on the spot by the judicial police, the suspect and a witness. When a person arrested is released, any property seized from him which may not be used as an exhibit shall be immediately returned to him before witnesses. If any, and against his signature, a report shall be made of the restitution. Sections 38. Whenever an officer of the judicial police charged with the execution of a warrant has good reason to believe that the person to be arrested has taken refuge in a house, a place not open to the public, the occupant shall be bound to facilitate his ingress therein. In the event of a refusal, the officer of the judicial police shall make a report thereof, and before available witnesses break into the house or place. Section 37. Any person arrested shall be given reasonable facilities, in particular to be in contact with his family, obtain legal advice, make arrangements for his defense, consult a doctor, and receive medical treatment and take necessary steps to obtain his release on bail. Sections 38. Every person shall be bound to assist a magistrate or officer or agent of judicial police or member of forces of law and order when such assistance is required for the purpose of apprehending a person or for preventing him from escaping. In the case of refusal, the provision of section 170. So when you read at the provision of the Criminal Procedure Code from sections 30 to 38 that talks about arrest, it is not stated anywhere that you have to refuse or resist, or that is impossible for someone to arrest you at 1 a.m. at 2 p.m. or public. No, we should not confuse arrest
and remand.
And search.
There's this question. People are asking, what is the difference between remand and arrest? A lot of people are asking this. Hello, Mr. Javis. Good day to you, our panelists. It is a wonderful program. Through this program to educate the public, I enjoy the arguments of the legal minds. But I would suggest that next time you should invite a senior member of the law enforcement officer too, so that we can listen to him defend or support legal or illegality of his element. John writing from Copenhagen in Denmark. But this one read, it says, where's the message again? The man in blue, please allow the man in black coat to explain to us the difference between arrest and remand in police custody.
Good.
Con you from Bamenda.
Yes, let me explain to him. There is what they call remand in custody, what the French man will translate detention provisoire, and there's what they call police custody. So those two concepts have to be distinguished. You can be detained at the police as you can be detained in prison. When you are detained at the police, is what we call police custody. You are remanded.
Yes.
When you are detained in the prison, you are under remand custody. That is, you are in prison. Waiting trial. So that is different.
Okay, it means that by that provision, you can be taken to custody on any day, public holiday or not, but you cannot be remanded in custody under that public holiday.
No,
that's not what.
If I get why you're saying, okay, you can be arrested.
Let me say something. One minute, Mr. Yopi, let me say something. If you look at the spirit of Section 119, the spirit of Section 119 goes on to fill the vacuum of Section 30 to 38, because Section 30 to 38 has not told us if people can be arrested.
No, regulate.
Regulate.
I know you finish. Let's have this orderly. Some people are really enjoying the program, and they say they want to get the understanding. Now, let me give you 2 minutes. Let me give you 1 minute to lay down your argument.
After that,
then I'll give him 1 minute. I'll give you.
Yeah.
I'll give you I'll give you time. 2 minutes, 1 minute, by side. The argument on this issue, whether you can be arrested or in public or not, so that he will react on that. Let's have this.
Yes. I'm saying that Section 119 that talks of remand has come up to fill the gap that was left out under Section 30 to 38 talking of arrest. Section 30 to 38 has not really explained to us when a person can be arrested. That one I agree with my learned friend. But if you look at Section 119, it says that somebody will not be remanded on a Saturday or a Sunday or on a public holiday. If you look at it, if you look at the intention of the lawmakers, what does the lawmakers want to say? Because if you are arrested, if they arrest you on a Saturday,
you must be remanded.
You must be remanded. So and if they arrest you on a Saturday because the arrest that I'm talking of that cannot be done on Saturdays, Sunday, and a public holiday is the arrest that is backed by a warrant of arrest. That is the one that you cannot be arrested on a Saturday, Sunday, or a public holiday. But the arrest that is done flagrante delicto, you can be arrested at any moment.
Okay. No. Okay, 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Yes. You seemingly have the same.
What Barrister Ewule developed? No, it is Barrister.
Yes, 2 minutes.
What Barrister Ewule developed is very important. It has come to fill that gap. Now, when a barrister developed on judicial police custody and a remand custody, you realize that it is going. What he said is coming to cover the arrest, because when they arrest you, you are to be detained. You are to be detained before presenting you. So now that Article 119 is saying that okay, you have been arrested, and then now we are detaining you. So it is logical. It is logical.
Okay.
So the law, the criminal procedure code is very clear on that aspect. That the people should be arrested and detained justly, not being arrested arbitrarily and being detained. That is my own reading of it.
Okay. Now I want him to, because they have the same, so that you now react on their logic.
Yes, I just want to say that Cameroonians have done. There are so many wrong things going into Cameroon until when there is something wrong, the thing that is right. Even the state council themselves will still argue this point, because the proof arrest, the other arrest of people even on a Sunday. Yes, because they sit in the comfort of their houses, issue an arrest sign, do it, and send it.
They even call you on phone.
They even call you on phone. Even themselves, I cannot blame Barrister Kafu, because maybe most of his clients have been arrested on Saturday. But yes, on Saturday and Sunday. Because normally you are not supposed to be arrested. Because if actually I want to arrest you as a judicial officer, it means that it means that the crime that you have committed, it warrants that you should remain in prison. If not, why will I order for your arrest on a Sunday? Yes, if not, why will I order for your arrest?
Okay, why I want us to really touch on this, because a lot of people are writing about this issue and we are educating the public. Maybe before next week we can take detention, but let's focus on this person to because I know in front line what you are about to say. Does it greetings, great minds? I am Rita, blessed you from Yaoundé. Does this mean that if you discover that your victim is about leaving the territory of often given that the officer has just an arrest warrant, he can't arrest the victim by 7 p.m. or are there emergency requests that after an officer can request for the authorization or to back up the arrest warrant?
Beautiful.
Look,
those are exceptional circumstances.
because they
They
may arrest you without detaining you. Why do you think that arrest is detention?
No,
Arrest is not detention.
They
They can arrest you without detaining you.
Right.
They can arrest you without remanding you. We are talking
How
about
would they-
arrest.
how would they present you to the
Because
state council
no,
on
you can be
Saturday
arrested.
No, it is time.
I'm saying that
Council, it is time.
don't give the image, don't give the message to our audience that on Saturday they cannot arrest you.
They cannot. With a
I say to
warrant.
me,
With a warrant.
it's false. It's not correct. You can be arrested any day, anytime.
Okay.
But now you cannot be detained.
Yes. Yes.
Arrest is not detention.
Arrest maybe to take a statement. To
It's
know what
arrest
happened.
detention.
Yes.
Arrest is not detention.
Yes.
Tah Mai Javis.
No, but you are spoken now, master.
Arrest is not detention.
No, you are spoken. It is time. It is time. It is no. This is Barrister Campbell's time. No.
Arrest.
No.
Let me ask this lady.
I gave you guys equal time. Barrister Campbell is developing his argument. He has not landed with his argument.
30 seconds on this lady.
The message, wait, the take home message is this: don't confuse arrest and detention. Because when people are talking, it's as if somebody tomorrow these people will tell you that no, it is 7 p.m., it is 9 p.m. you cannot arrest me. No, you cannot be arrested without being arrest is not detention. Now, if they want to detain you, they cannot detain you on Saturday, Sunday, public holiday. If you have not committed a felony or a
Barrister Campbell is correct. Arrest can be executed at any time. Remand to prison custody is what
different.
is limited at certain times.
That's
From
it.
Johnson, legal officer.
That is it.
Let me
Correct.
No, what he said. No. I want Barrister Ule. I want to say that there are other laws which also supersedes what is in the CPC.
Which law?
No, when I say there are other laws, there are other provisions. No, what I'm trying to say, there are other provisions. Maybe I cannot be using the law jargon. No, I want to go ahead. Now, let's take for example, I want to break a case like Justice Aya Paul Abine, who was being arrested on his house as a Supreme Court judge.
Anybody can be arrested. Anybody can be arrested, but now
we are saying that
has the due process of arrest as
we are saying that he was arrested. Justice Aya Paul Abine is a legal mind who has gone on air several times to denounce that he was illegally arrested.
it is but normal.
Yes,
It is
was illegally arrested. So if today you are coming to tell us what I gathered here, Barrister Wule, maybe you come.
Let
me land. What I gathered here is that what I gathered here is that there are exceptions to arrests. If Barrister Campbell tells me that we should base on these exceptions, we should base on this exception for you to be arrested, like we are talking of maybe a fragranted delito. I don't have, yes, those are exceptions. I don't have a problem. But we also have to know to tell televiewers that we have many types of cases. We have a felony, we have a misdemeanor, and maybe simple offenses. You cannot compare a simple offense. Somebody commits a simple offense, and then you tell him that you come and arrest him.
So let's not something that except the arrest started on a Friday. That means except the process started on a Friday, that is why it can be executed on a Saturday. So we should not forget that. The truth is that in Cameroon we have been making so many bad things in such a way that everything now they see that is correct. There is a reason. Unless I arrested nobody is, for instance, who is supposed to order of arrest.
It is a state
It's a state council.
An example.
You guys have been talking. Tamfu should talk. No. You guys.
Please let me finish.
Order. Please, can we have some order? Please, can we have some order? Please, Barrister, thank you very much. Objection. Yes. Barrister Tamfu should talk.
We are not in the market. People are listening to us, and we have that obligation to educate. The confusion that we are making here is that we are confusing arrest and detention.
Whether you agree or you don't agree, this is point now.
You people are confusing arrest and don't make Cameroonians understand that they cannot arrest them at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. No. Good.
That's not what we are saying.
Arrest is different from detention. No.
There is no
exception. The law has not provided exception. There is no exception. Now, detention is a different thing. You cannot be detained when you have when it is Saturday, Sunday, public holiday, if you have not committed a felony or a misdemeanor flagrante delicto. That is when you talk about detention. There you have exception. With arrest, there is no exception. They can arrest you at any time, anywhere. But now, the arrest should follow due process. It is when the due process has not been respected that you talk about illegality.
And the detention should be based on whether it is a felony or a misdemeanor.
They can arrest you. Wait, they can arrest you for whatever offense.
There's no time.
Just
they can arrest you.
Just follow up.
Let him land now. He has not landed now.
Please.
No. No, because
Please let me just come up to say that I still stand on my point that the intention of the lawmakers is that what? If you look at Section 30, it says that the purpose of arrest is the purpose of bringing him without delay before the authority prescribed by law. The person who ordered for arrest with a warrant of arrest is who? It is a state council. Wait, please. It is the state council or the examining magistrate, and those two authorities, if they arrest you, they must present you to those authorities. Those authorities don't work.
Okay. Somebody say, please ask the panel to read section 103 and 104. It is a Fondon Richard master student in SWA. I don't know what 104 and 103 read, but there's no much time. I believe that Sunday, I want us to really take this, because from the messages that we receive, a lot of people are appreciating the fact that they are getting clarifications now on arrest, detention, and the rest. So we don't have much time. This one reads, let me just take on some few messages to those who have sent us. Barrister Tamfu is right to say arrest must not lead to detention. Arrest should be followed by bringing the suspect before the state council. The state council may find that there is no offense through interrogation and allow the person to go home. He must not be detained. It's coming from Smith in Boya. Please, is it not right? The great legal minds and happy Sunday is Leslie from Babenda. Please, you guys are debating to educate us, the public, not to fight. I believe everyone can be arrested at any given day and time, but arrest is different from detention. My humble opinion, please. If not the right education to educate, is better to do illegal arrest on detention. And this other one reads, it says, Barrister Wule read the law as it is and not as it ought to be. This one read, it says, please, this one read, it says, thank you for the program, Mr. Javis. Hopefully lawmakers are following this program too. Max from Germany. Please order the orderly. Why are they blocking the man in black suit from talking? Hello, no, we are talking about him. You have been talking. Three of you have ganged up against Barrister Tamfu. This one says, hello, Barrister in the house. I buy the idea of 2-minute proposal each to explain on remand and arrest, because everyone is talking at the same time. It can't help us. For me, I think from now henceforth, all police concourse should be specific only on those who study law in university. This one reads, from common sense, does it mean any sense to have a particular time or day for arrest? We Africans should stop thinking about common law etc. Law should be made basic in society and reality. I am John from Germany. We don't have much time. We are short out of time. Barrister Ewule, thank you for coming, and a privilege to have you. Hopefully, if time permits, you may have this debate next week.
Yes, we will come to talk on detention and even the case of
Rebecca
Enonchong. I think we'll have time to talk on that.
Okay, thank you very much for coming, Barrister Tamfu.
Yes, the pleasure is all mine. The message I can tell Cameroonians is that you should be able to respect your rights at any time. If you don't push people to respect your right to violate it, and nobody will do it for you. So make sure that you push these law enforcement officers to respect your rights. So you should know your rights is an obligation. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Thank you very much for coming, Photo.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. And this topic is a very critical issue because most Cameroonians don't know the law. That is why most of them go astray. As I earlier said, many wrong things have been doing in Cameroon as concerns law, to the extent where people see something wrong, they think that is right.
Thank you very much, Prince Epierre, for coming.
The pleasure is mine. I would just like tell Cameroonians that they should not worry. Things gonna change one day.
Thank you very much. This other person says, please can you repeat this program on Sunday? Is very educative. I want to say that this program comes from every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30 p.m. 12 to 1:30 p.m. Rebroadcast is on Sunday at exactly 10:30, and rebroadcast will be tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. And of course, every Sunday, as I did mention to you, you can get the program on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is BT Media Group. Our YouTube channel, all of our programs are on our YouTube channel, BT Media Group. In case you want to be a member of this program, you want to participate, be a panelist, my numbers are on your screen. You can get to the number and contact me. I'll send you the topic ahead of time so that we deliberate and we'll have you on the program. I leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matter is your matter. No matter the matter, what matter is your matter. And what should matter for you is that he who goes to law or to equity must go with clean hands, because res ika lokito, the truth speaks for itself. My name is Tah Mai Javis from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala Fengudrong, Bangekoto, Bonamusadi. Bye-bye.